Hi, everyone. If you are interested in learning more about the Lenormand cards, this video is for you. So, the number one thing I absolutely love about these cards is that they tell a story, as long as you keep that in mind as you're reading for your client. Hi, I am Michelle Henderson, and I am really excited to bring you this video today because I love teaching things about the Lenormand cards. They're just magical to me. And I never knew that I not only am a psychic reader whenever I'm reading these cards and giving guidance for my clients, but I'm also telling their life story. Everybody has a life story to tell. And if you love telling stories for somebody, Lenormand cards are for you. So let me go ahead and start our mini lesson for today. All right. So, how Lenormand cards tell a story. So, many of us don't realize whenever you're reading cards that they do tell a story. Now, oracle cards are a little bit different. So, oracle cards are what beautiful because they have a beautiful story on the cards that you can tell, but it only takes one card. Whenever you're looking at Lenormand cards, you have to have more than one to tell a story because they all interact with each other. The energy just interacts with each other. So whenever it always tells a story, and I love this Victorian. So whenever you're telling a story, you are the director. You're creating a video for them. You can always picture in your mind what you are creating for them. I've even done some spiritual art for people. So whenever I do a Lenormand card reading, sometimes I offer art so that I can write all of these elements and give them the picture that I am actually seeing. Well, again, every card, every symbol, every story is waiting to be unfolded. And right here, the story right here came from the man, the house, and the sun. I absolutely love that picture. All right. So, whenever you, especially in the very beginning, you're learning all the symbols of how each card is supposed to be read, each meaning. And there's so many different, depends upon the questions too. So it's very, very difficult to do a reading without the questions. So again, whenever you look at just at the tree, people think, oh, that's about health. The house is about a home. And the sun is joy about somebody's life, somebody light, that light inside, just sunshine, your joy. But how do you bring all these together to interact and bring it into a story? So we're going to begin with the writer, the letter, and the heart, and see how we can bring these together to create a story. So right here, the writer, the letter, and the heart can mean a message that arrives that touches the heart. It also can mean good news arrives through a message about love, or someone brings a heartfelt communication. Now, I absolutely love this picture because I would love to like walk outside and flowers everywhere, and a gentleman on a horse brings me this letter that I've been looking for because back in the olden days they didn't have cell phones, and so they had to wait for a telegraph. So that's how I think about it. But it also could be something related to a job, maybe a job that means a lot to you. You're waiting for a message to come about that that's dear to your heart. So now let's look at the clouds, the ring, and then the fox together. So many times the clouds can mean confusion, uncertainty, underthinking, and doubts. The ring is more commitment, agreement, relationship, contract, bond, or obligation. The fox can mean deception, dishonesty, someone looking out for themselves, and caution. And because this is for beginners, that's what you mainly have. Sometimes the ring can mean that you're cycling. You have the same type of behavior, same cycling. And then the fox card can also mean, which I use a lot, an 8 to 5 job. And see how confusing it can be if you don't have the meaning or the question in front of you. So let's see how we can make this into a story. Oh, look, that woman is just having difficulties, and she's very stressed, and the man is just kind of looking. But the clouds, again, the meaning behind it. But this, and I love the fox. The fox is like hiding, being very deceivious, saying, "Ha ha ha." There's something that's going on that not everybody knows. So there may be uncertainty surrounding commitment, or someone in an agreement may not be acting honestly. So that's where the fox comes in. And when you read a contract now, it's very unclear, because sometimes you have to read between the lines. And how many times do we get a contract from our phone that is like 5 pages long that you go, okay, I agree to it, without really reading it? Well, you got to remember, somebody in the background may be deceiving you at the same time. All right, so what do you see? So I'm going to suggest that you look at this: the dog, the key, and the garden. And I want you to think, pause the video, write down a story of what you see. And sometimes it may be helpful to put the symbols first, especially if you're at the very beginning of learning these cards. You may want to put a symbol of what each one means, and then create a story that they're all connected. Okay. And we are going left to right for now. All right. So the story behind the cards, this is what it could mean. All right. It could mean that there's a loyal connection that brings you the key to an opportunity that leads to growth, community, and a greater connection. And I love that they use a golden retriever. That's one that I have at home, but I absolutely love this, that they used a golden retriever on this one. I guess AI knows me, right? So that is the story that could present itself. All right, so here's some pointers. Whenever you are creating a story, don't memorize isolated keywords, because a lot of times people want to stick with that. Now, in the very beginning, it is good that you stick somewhat, or you're more structured. And as you get to know the cards more and know how you are as a reader, then you can kind of extend it a little bit and think outside the box. But be sure and read the cards together. And there are different spreads. And I'm not going to be talking about the spreads right now. Let each card influence the next. Think in sentences rather than separate meanings. And always remember the questions you're answering, because that really provides the context for the story. Okay, it really does. It's like you're creating a script for the movie or for the series. Now, this is a saying that I absolutely love, that I developed. I always begin with traditional meanings of the cards, whatever deck that I'm learning, because they provide a solid foundation. They are the roots of the tree. Then I allow my intuition to notice how those symbols interact within the story. Rather than replacing the meanings, intuition helps bring the narrative to life. So you can be very logical and very creative at the same time. So, and I absolutely love diving into both of those. So whenever you hear me say use your intuitiveness, that means to use your creativity, listen to what your heart is speaking for your client, and how you're connecting with your client. Because remember, whenever you're doing a card reading, it is a psychic connection with whoever you're reading. You're getting into their energy and you're reading their energy. And a lot of people do this without even realizing what's going on. That's where you're getting all the information, is you're connecting in with their energy. And so you also use that information. And many times what I do is I write down things that I am receiving intuitively and psychically before I do the card reading. And then I tell them what I've gotten. And then I go, okay, let's go ahead and do the card reading. And what really is fabulous and magical is if what you say to the client is validated through the cards. And then the client's going, okay, I hear you. I get you. I understand my message now. So that's how You can add the logic and their creativity to the Lenormand cards. So I hope that you enjoyed our mini lesson today. I am going to try to do a mini lesson each week. You can put in the comment section what kind of mini lesson that you need or what you're wanting clarification on, and I can make a lesson around that. So I wish you much luck in learning the Lenormand cards because they are a lot of fun, and just, trust yourself and be patient with the process. So happy card reading is what I'm trying to say. Thanks so much.